Hi everybody, and welcome to another Grand Punwick How to Draw video. I'm J. Robert Deans, the writer, artist, and creator of Shakes the Cow and Stanley, the bear from Ant. Today we're going to draw Sprinkles the MooseLamb, and you'll need a pencil and some crayons. And if you want to ink your drawing like I do, you'll also need an ink pen, any kind of ink pen, and an eraser. But those are optional. I'm starting out by just doing a very light sketch, just very basic shapes to really position Sprinkles and see exactly how I want to put together this image, this picture. So what I'm doing is having Sprinkles chasing a butterfly. That blob is not a moon or the sun; it's actually going to be a butterfly. And Sprinkles is going to be chasing the butterfly in front of a long row of trees in a field. And now I'm going through and having done that very, very loose sketch, I'm doing a much more elaborate actual drawing in pencil, digital pencil, in red, um, of Sprinkles. So now I'm giving her head and face more detail and adding the antlers. Sprinkles is a moose lamb, so she's a lamb with moose antlers. And now I'm adding in her body. And because she is running, when you run, your body sort of arches itself a little bit. So I've given her that pose. And now I'm adding in the arms and legs and her hooves, and now putting in more detail of the background. And when I say detail, notice here I'm drawing a really detailed leaf, but in the background, the leaves are just basically squidges and half moons. When you're drawing a picture, you don't have to put in a lot of detail, especially in the backgrounds. All you really have to do is just kind of give the impression of what you're drawing. You can see that those are trees. Well, you will in a moment once you actually add the tree trunks. But you already know that that's a moose lamb running in front of a bunch of trees over the grass. And there's the butterfly, who apparently is still very tired the way that butterfly flew. What I'm doing here in purple is highlighting the shapes that make up Sprinkles' body. You've got a diamond for her ear, a triangle for her nose, a bean shape for her body, gumdrops for the hooves, macaroni for the arms and legs. They're little hearts, three hearts stacked up on each other for her antlers. Anyway, a circle for her head, as I said, macaroni and beans for her body and arms. I really shouldn't do these voiceovers when I'm hungry. A capital B shape for her snout, and a U shape for her lower jaw. And those shapes make up Sprinkles' body. That should help you put together a Sprinkles image. And now I'm inking the drawing. And again, this is optional. You don't have to ink your drawings. You can go straight to coloring. Just if you want to accent the lines you really want to show up, just go over again with your pencil in the same manner in which I'm inking this. As I'm inking, I'll tell you that Sprinkles is part of the MooseLamb family, and the MooseLambs include her cousin Spicy the MooseLamb. Spicy shows up in the book Spicy's Tale, and Spicy is Sprinkles' cousin, and Sprinkles first showed up in the book Sundaes in the Park with Sprinkles, and that's Sundaes, like an ice cream sundae. And in fact, that's how her two dads met. And Sprinkles, the book Sprinkles, is all about how her dads met and then wanted to start a family, and how Sprinkles came into their life. You'll notice again, I'm not doing anything fancy with the inking here. I'm just sort of giving the impression that there are trees and the grass. That sort of lack of detail is what we call sort of suggestive simplicity. That's what I call it. But I learned that by reading years and years of Peanuts comics, and Peanuts is where you get Charlie Brown and Snoopy. And Charles Schulz was a master at just showing enough to really tell the story. And I learned a lot from reading his comics. And if you can find his stuff, they're always in the newspaper, they're online, and there are some great books out there that reprint a lot of his old comics, and they're funny. And Snoopy is, of course, fantastic. So I recommend you get some of those, and you can learn a lot about cartooning from reading his strips. I didn't design anything for the butterfly. Every butterfly's wings are different. So when you're drawing and coloring your butterfly, have fun. Design it however you want to. For coloring the sky, hope it's a nice day out. Hopefully it's not too warm. So it's just a nice, lovely spring or summer day with a blue sky out. Perfect day to go chasing butterflies, I suppose. And to add depth and a more realistic feel to these trees, I use that same sort of half swirly shapes when I colored these trees. And that just makes them look even more real, and gives them depth and shading and things like that. So I didn't just do a straight up and down color like I did with the sky. And that helps make the trees look a little more tree-like. Not sure how else to put it. But what I did with the grass, you'll notice, I did do up and down strokes because grass is tall and straight, but also wonky. You ever really looked at the grass in your yard? It kind of looks bizarre because it's all straight, and then there are these patches that just are all over the place, kind of goofy and crazy. So that's what I did here. I took a slightly darker crayon and just kind of went all over the place with it. So that's how I made the grass look like it does. But you'll notice when I inked it, I only did 3 lines for the grass, and that's another Charles Schulz thing I learned. And then I took that darker crayon and then went over again and did some of those same half swirl shapes for shading in the trees. And again, all that just helps your drawing come alive, and really gives it a lot of depth. And then once we're done with the actual tops of the trees, we'll go in with a brown crayon with not a lot of pressure. I'm not sure why I stopped there. Maybe I had to sneeze. And just up and down for the trunks, the tree trunks. And then with that, you've got that sort of medium brown, and then you'll go in a little heavier, a little darker for some of the trunks. And those will be the ones that are kind of closer to you. That's why they'll show up more like that. And you go really heavy and you make it darker for the trunks that are further back. And again, that adds more depth to your picture. And then a little bit of shading for underneath the tops of the trees. The canopy are the leafy parts of the trees, the tops of the leafy parts of the trees. So all that's done. And now we'll start actually coloring Sprinkles. All of the MooseLambs have tan or light brown hooves and antlers. And Sprinkles has little blue eyes. You see them there. And her fur is a rainbow. So the top of her head is red, and the rest of her head is orange, a little bit of her neck. There it is. And then yellow for the top part of her body and her arms. And then we're going to color. Whoop! Not sure what I did there. I think my hand just swiped the thing. Perils of digital coloring. So there's the green. And then the very tops of her legs are blue, as is the rest of her body and her tail. And then the rest of her legs are purple. And there's your Sprinkles the MooseLamb with her rainbow coloring. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. There's her tongue and her mouth. And then a dark green crayon adds a shadow of her running over the grass. And the last thing you have to do with every picture you make is you have to sign it so people know you drew it. And there's my signature. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. I hope you draw Sprinkles and send her in. Have your parents send in your artwork to us. And we hope everyone had a great day. And hope you guys stay safe and take care. Thanks so much. Cheers.